Hi FlossTube. Hi FlossTube. Hi YouTube. Hi MouseTube. I keep wanting to get in all of my, because I know that I have friends that visit here from my Disney World, my people who love things Disney, as well as people who love things stitching, and a few gardening people, and I want to make sure I've included everyone. I'm Debbie, and I'm very tired right now. I'm getting ready to mail a Christmas package to my family in Japan. It needs to go out Monday, and so I had some last minute things I wanted to pick up to include, like, for example, the annual trip to See's Candy. Japan has wonderful chocolates, but the two of them, my son and my daughter-in-law, are homesick for American chocolate. And so I got the number one thing that my son wanted in the Christmas box were the Reese's peanut butter Christmas trees. And so I was able to get some of those for him. But they also, just some things for the little boys from See's as a surprise, I guess. At any rate, so I went to See's, and then I walked across the parking lot to the town's gift store. I don't spend a lot of time in that store. It's clear on the other side of town, and I don't buy that kind of gifts. The people that I buy gifts for are into actually more practical rather than decorative things, and so I didn't get over there for a whole year. But every year at about this time, I like to go. It was a Hallmark store, and I like to go and pick out a Christmas ornament or two. I started that when my kids were little. Before my husband and I even had kids, and my oldest is 42, so this was probably 45 years ago, we were invited to the holiday get-together for his department. He was a college professor, and so the biology department had a Christmas get-together for the families, and the woman who was hosting it that year was showing us some Christmas ornaments that she bought at a craft sale. And she explained that she would buy her children, who were small, a new Christmas ornament every year, and they would keep them and put them on the tree. And her plan was that when they grew up and left home and got their own Christmas trees, that she would give them these ornaments, and that they would be the basis for their Christmas decorations. And I thought that was such a fabulous idea. So when I had kids, starting with my oldest, I did that. I bought the first two. The first Christmas and the second Christmas I bought. But by their third Christmas, they were ready to pick out their own Christmas ornaments. And I have some really wonderful memories based on these Christmas ornaments. I'm going to have some of my favorite memories are, I'm trying to think. I guess it's mostly from my younger son. I remember the year, and I just don't remember how old he was. I want to say 9 or 10, not 8, 9 or 10, 11 maybe. He decided he was black. And so for a year or so, he was learning about music and learning about culture and all of that, I guess. It was just what he decided. And that year we went to get Christmas ornaments, and they had an African-American Santa Claus. And he was so excited to get a black Santa. And so he, would put that on the tree every year. I don't think he still thinks he's black, but he certainly does connect with his black friends and with black music and black culture. So that was a favorite memory when he did that. And then another one was, he had this ornament, I want to say it was a Garfield, the cat ornament. And our Labrador Retriever got a hold of it and just broke it to bits. And I was, my attitude was, well, uh-oh. hope he's not too upset about that. And he got home from school. He was in his 20s when we got the dog, so I don't even know if he was just at work or at school or whatever. But when he came in and saw it, he very carefully picked up all the pieces, put them in a Ziploc bag, and hung them back on the tree. And as far as I know, he still hangs that ornament in the plastic bag that his dog chewed up on the tree every year. And I thought that was so sweet, you know, just, it's okay, bud. We make things work. So with that backstory, I will say that I was a little heartbroken today. I walked over to the store that I always get my Hallmark ornaments, and it was gone. It was closed up. It's a COVID victim, I'm sure, that people just, maybe it's because people couldn't afford to buy that kind of gift because they've been out of work too long, or maybe just people have shifted to online instead of going out because of the risk. I don't know. You know, I'm sure that a store like that at any time is kind of like barely hanging on. But it hurt. It hurt to not be able to go get my annual Hallmark ornament there. But I have gotten some new ornaments. I thought I'd drag them out and share them. First of all, as part of my Disney insanity, I collect things Chip and Dale. And when this one popped up on, I think, Shop Disney, I decided I wanted it on my tree. Confused camera never knows where to focus. Especially since I shake. Let's get a whiteboard back. Did that help? That helped. So I love the acorn. I love the Chip and Dale. It's smaller than it looks. Holding it in my hand like this, it's actually not that large of an ornament, but they're awfully cute, and I really love them. And then the other one I got, so I was getting kind of caught up in the whole pin collecting thing, and they're just so cute. I really do like the Disney pins, and to me they're kind of cheap art, but they're not really that cheap, not when you start buying a lot of them. And so I decided that I was going to really focus just on a few different types, a few different designs by character. Chip and Dale is one. I do collect Chip and Dale pins. Dumbo is another. Dumbo's my favorite Disney character. I've always loved the movie Sleeping Beauty. I think it was the first Disney animated film that I saw in the theater. I was 8. It came out in 1959, and I was 8 years old, and so I saw it in the theater, and I've always loved it. But I'm the scene I like the best is the woodland scene. Once Upon a Dream, and where she's dancing. The animals have taken Philip's cloak and boots and hat, and they stand on each other's shoulders so that she has someone to dance with. That's my favorite scene in the movie. And Aurora herself, the princess, to me is not very interesting. You know, that character only has 16 minutes in the whole movie. And a lot of that time she's in a bed, asleep, and things are going on around her. It's the Briar Rose in the woodland scene that I feel really interested in and connected to. And so I decided I wasn't even going to keep, had been collecting Aurora pins, the princess pins, and the family pins and all of that. And I decided instead just to focus on that woodland scene. And anything I thought, oh, that's really going to narrow things down, and I'm not going to, be tempted to buy so much stuff because it's not going to be available. And as soon as I put that out there, it started popping up all over the place. So this year, of course, Disney put out in their signature collection, Briar Rose in the woodland. See? This is really a beautiful ornament. It's really quite small for the amount of detail in it, the amount of detail in the character faces and the quality of the detail in the characters. It's just a fabulous ornament. I'm kind of thinking that I want another one. We'll see if I can find another one, maybe at my local Disney outlet. Because I would like one in with my Christmas ornaments, but I also would like one with my collection of Aurora or Briar Rose stuff. So I was really excited to find it, even though I was like, you know, they keep coming out with stuff. Jim Shore put out two Briar Rose in the woodland scene this year, in the past year or so, or within the year that I was buying 2 within 1 year. And then the other ornament I found, I was at Bath and Body Works. I needed a new mattress pad. And I was kind of waiting in the checkout line, and you know, because of distancing, it was spread back into the shop quite a ways. And I was standing next to this little miniature rack of ornaments, and this one caught my eye. And I kind of hemmed and hawed about it. And they said, wait a minute, go ahead and get it. First of all, it's only $7.99. That's not horrendously expensive. But when I got it home, I said, I'm so glad I got this, because it kind of represents my year on a lot of different levels. What caught my attention was that it looks like so many of the houses in the cross-stitch patterns, or the cross-stitch charts that keep popping up this year for me that I wasn't aware of, like the Glitter Village that I showed yesterday. This is like those houses. It's also like the houses in the piece I'm doing. I'm doing the Shores of Hawk Run Hollow, and it looks like the houses in there, and that makes the connection to, it looks like the houses in Massachusetts, and I've been there twice in the last 2 years, and I love Massachusetts, and I love just the whole Cape Cod, and I love I just love this representation of that. This is also the year that I've been doing a lot of work on my home, trying to put my stamp on it. I have been in the house 47 years, and for 45 of those years, I felt like I was going to move at any time, and so everything had to be neutral and white walls and all of that. And it finally, a couple of years ago, I said, no, I'm going to die in this house. I'm not moving. And so I might as well make it my own. And I've been at that now for 2 years. That's why I'm so tired. But to me, it represented that. I will finish this part of the project in 2020 of making this house my own house. And then finally, 2020 is the year we got locked in our houses. And so it kind of represents that for me. So there's a lot of reasons I'm really glad that I picked up this little ornament. It's very cute. There's a wreath on the door. I don't know how much you could see. Swarovski crystals are the lights across the front. And the address is 2020. It's a very cute ornament, and I think, you know, now that I realize it means all that much to me, and that it has all these elements, I think $7.99 was a pretty good deal. So yesterday, what I pulled out of the haul box, my daily haul report, this stuff isn't all coming once a day. It's just, I kept putting it in there for the last few weeks when stuff would show up. I mentioned, because I had pulled out Glitter Village and shared, you know, some of those charts. And I mentioned that I had a really pretty tin that I had bought when I visited Tokyo. Disney Sea is where we were for this one. And I thought that was kind of rude not to show you the tin. So this is the tin I'm going to put that in. it was in a display of wedding related merchandise in actually the hotel gift store. And I just thought it was so sweet. And they carry that little lace trim design all the way around. It had just their version of a sugar cookie was what was in it. They were all decorated. I have them all somewhere. I have from a previous trip, a paper tree that had a box base, and you could put treats in that base. And I left all the Japanese treats in there because they're wrapped and decorated so beautifully. I don't want to eat them. I just want to look at them. And so I put all those cookies, one of each of the cookies, because I think I bought 5 different tins this trip. But I left most of the treats there and packed things in the tins to get them all home. But I kept one of each kind of cookie and brought them home and put them, I'm being attacked by my hair, put them in with that tree. So I thought this was just really sweet, and I think that that piece, Glitter Village, I'm tired, goes well with this. So why am I tired? I did my shopping. I went to pick up the candy at See's. I had my aborted walk over to the Hallmark store and back again, and then I did Costco. And then I came home and I took a little break. My construction guys had left at that point for the day, it turned out. They're at the mud stage on building this wall. And I took a break, and then I started painting. The carpet goes in on the 14th of December. And the one guy is going to do the extra job for me of some painting, but felt like I needed to get a head start on it. I needed to get some painting done. So I did, and I am tired. I am tired. I also played with this garland behind me. Every time I would look in the viewfinder on this camera and then look at the tapes when they were done, it would bother me that the control of this, the plug, was hanging in this wall behind me. And so I decided to add another piece to that garland, and I like it a lot better. I think it looks a lot cuter. I'm having 2 of them. All right, so back to the agenda. I did make progress on, well, it's this is the chart from Cross Stitcher 2008. No, that isn't it. Oops. Here's the picture. This is the chart. And all I'm doing is the bird, the branch, the leaves, the berries, the bird on the branch, and the stocking. And the fabric I'm using is a fabric flare sheet music to White Christmas. And I got more of this done. And so far I'm liking it. I've done the whole bird before. Let's see if it's in here. I really did think I'd kept it all in here. Yeah, here it is down at the bottom. No, that's the fabric. Here it is. So the story, if you missed it, the story of this is that I started this in 2008 on a piece of opalescent that was blue and white, and you can't even hardly see it. But it looked like sky. Can you see the blue there? And it's opalescent. It was really pretty, and I got this far on it. So I got the bird done, and the branch was finished, the bird was done, and now I was adding the berries and adding the leaves to the whole thing. And I was going to reward myself by putting in the stocking. life got wonky, and I ended up leaving it sitting on my sewing table, which at that time was in my family room under the skylights. And it was there for several months. And when I went back to work on it, I realized that it had gotten faded under the skylights. So you can really see the line here, where it's just white and then blue down here. I don't know if it's going to show. We'll see if it shows on the picture. I can't see it right now. I mean, obviously. And I said, I'm not going to be happy with that. I really wanted it against that blue sky thing. Well, this is I don't think it's a linen. I'm not sure what it is. I have it with a label? Because I bought another piece of it, but I never got back to it. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But that's what it had originally looked like. Well, by the time I said I'm going to have to start over again, I bought the fabric, I put it away. I just didn't have time, energy. By that time I was teaching full time and I had teenage kids and life was crazy. So I just tucked it away. And in the meantime, I ended up, I already had essential trimmer and I was kind of working with that, but I had a retinal detachment and they repaired it and I'm functional and I see actually really great, better than ever, except there's a little scar there. And so my straight lines are not usually completely straight. If I close this eye and look at like where the cupboards go against the ceiling, this kind of has a Dr. Seuss feel to it. So I don't work on linen anymore. It's too hard to focus. You know, I've got a needle that's shaking, not that much, I can keep my hands still, but the needle is harder to manipulate than it used to be. Plus I don't see that, you know, I don't see straight lines that way. So I stopped working on linen and went looking for another fabric and found this one. And so far, I think I'm really gonna like seeing that bird on here. I think it's gonna be just about the right size. And I think that by the time the white is on here and the red and the back stitching, I think it's really gonna show up well. So I'm happy with it. Fine enough with what I got finished last night. I did not watch the movie that I was planning to watch. I was planning to watch White Christmas. And so I feel a marathon coming up. It's the weekend. I'm not sure how tomorrow's going to go. I need to bake cookies to send to Japan, and that means I have to clear some space in my kitchen because there's construction flotsam everywhere. As I've moved stuff out of the room to get it out of their way, it had to go somewhere, and it's all around me in my kitchen. So I need to clear some space so that I can bake some cookies and get that packaged stuff wrapped and get it ready to ship. And then I have to do more painting in that room. If the guys are there working, they're just going to have to put up with me being in there painting because I'm feeling anxiety that it needs to get done. So I'm not sure it's going to be appropriate to do a marathon tomorrow, although that has a lot of appeal to me. But I'll pick another movie for today anyway and see how I feel. And what's at the top of my stack over there is the claymation Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. This has so many happy memories for me because my kids grew up with it. And I have a darling video of my younger son who was 2, maybe 3. He was still talking baby talk. And his brother who was 5. So I think he was 2 and I think his brother was 5, acting out the Hermie doesn't want to be a dentist scene. And they both knew both scripts. And so they're acting it out with my little one being Boss Elf, and then they flip it around with my the little one being Hermie, and it's just really a wonderful memory for us. So I rewatch the movie every year. As far as haul, I had pulled this out earlier this week and taped it, and then decided to do something else for that day because I wanted to do a complete presentation on this. This, of course, is one of the Garin Toten bags. I purchased this when I am a Bag of the Month Club member, and December's is in there. It's in the box, but you can't show it until the 5th, and today's only the 4th. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. I love this fabric. I actually saw this fabric in a fabric store and was so tempted to buy a couple of yards of it for my collection, and I was a good girl. So when they posted it on their sale, I just got really excited and went ahead and bought it. This is my favorite size from them. It seems really useful to me. And I decided to use it for this piece. And I'm pretty sure you all know it if you're here for cross stitch. And that's my Christmas list. Every single version of this I've seen. It doesn't matter the fabric color or the flosses used. I have loved it. I don't like doing alphabets. I don't like doing letters. But I have enjoyed this so much that I decided to buy the chart. And I'm learning something about myself through this process. You know, the stitchers talk about whether we are process stitchers or product stitchers. And I always say I'm a process stitcher, and it's true. I don't really care usually if I finish it or not. I just love doing it. But I've also learned that if I am really inspired by somebody's finish, that really motivates me to work on something. And so I saw this finish, and I'm sorry, I didn't go back to look up to see who to give credit for this. I think it was on Stitching with the Housewives on their Facebook page, and because she kind of Priscilla-fied it. And I will go back and find it when I'm ready to post it so that I can give her credit. But it totally turned me on to doing this piece. Absolutely couldn't wait. I already have the Priscilla's Pretty Plaids, I call it the peppermint check. I just thought this was the greatest finish. I don't know that I would put the big bow on it, number one. And she cut the end off. I can show you. I mean, I dropped everything and went to Joanne when she said that's where she got this board to finish it on. So here's the board, and it's big. It's long. Certainly too long for the piece. So she said she cut off the bottom. I'm thinking of, when I do it, I'll have some kind of a decoration up here under the snowflake. So there'll be a decoration, and then there will be the piece on that plaid. And I'm thinking of maybe putting a basket or something down here, and putting candy canes in it and having it be hanging where my grandkids could get something out of it. So we'll see. But I got really excited about that. And then I went through my fabric, and you know, it's funny. I love it so much, but what I don't like usually are the choice of if you use the floss she called for, I don't care for the colors. And I don't usually like it on a neutral background. Priscilla did hers on a blue, an evening blue that she coffee tea dyed. And I really like that idea. And I had this one that I got at Garin Stitchery. It's called Earth and Sky by Mountain Air. And I think that this will be, assuming it's big enough, I have to double check that, I think it is. But I think this will be a nice color for this. And it's way bluer than it looks on my screen. So I hope that you can see it blue. And then I'm not, like I said, I'm not crazy necessarily with the called for flosses. I am a member of the Victorian Motto Sampler Shop. This is the special what do they call it? The limited edition, I think she calls them, flosses that Nancy does. And I just decided to start putting these in with this chart, and I'm going to sub out whenever I want to, because there are just gorgeous colors in here, and a lot of them, I guess these are the fall colors. I have another red that I've got tucked in with a different project, and I'm kind of anxious to see what I get. I just paid I paid the invoice for this month, so it'll be here any day. But I'm just going to keep throwing them in here, in this bag, and when I'm ready to start stitching on this, I'm going to sub out these Victorian Motto Sampler flosses. I love the color saturation on these. They're kind of the richness of them, so I think that'll be a fun project to do. I did eat the 2 roses. Let's see if I can. I did eat my 2 roses from last night and the night before. I didn't care for the strawberry one. And then the other one I think was the truffle. That was really good. So today's is hazel in caramel. I assume that means a hazelnut in caramel. I'm not a big fan of caramels, so we'll see how that goes. And then I guess that brings us up to the Advent calendar. Tomorrow I am planning to tack on the thing I did with Disneyland Bears. Tomorrow is the anniversary of Walt Disney's birthday. He was born on December 5th. And so I'm going to do a little more Disney theme, I think, for my December 5th Vlogmas. So I'll just warn you right there. For now, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to go rest my back and my feet. I've been on my feet a lot today. I'm painting, and I only painted for an hour or two, maybe an hour and a half. And I couldn't figure out why my feet hurt so much. And then I wrapped it all up and cleaned up. I went, oh yeah, that's right. I went shopping today. And so, yeah. Hope you're having a great holiday season. I hope that things are, you know, at least by now, 9 months into our COVID adventure, a lot of us are kind of getting used to it. And we think we've got it kind of nailed, and it's not going to be much of a Christmas, although for me, my son said something about just leaving. We usually had Skype on for him to enjoy Christmas with our family on Christmas Day for at least an hour, you know, half hour or so. And he said this year he's really homesick. He was supposed to have been here in June, and they didn't get to come, and so they're really homesick. And he said, maybe we'll just run. And he knows that I'm going to be lonesome because it'll be just me and my mom, probably. Maybe me and my mom and my sister and my nephew at my mom's house. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to get to spend a lot of time with my younger son's family because they will have just had a baby. And that newborn's immune system won't be ready to have a lot of company. So I'm not expecting to spend a lot of time with them on around Christmas time. We'll just see how it works out. But to make up for it, for both of our sakes, my older son is saying, let's just keep the cameras rolling. So we'll see how that works out. So Disney-fied tomorrow. For Walt Disney's birthday. Have a great evening or a great day. It will take me a whole day to get this out tomorrow. So I guess that's it. Bye. Just about wrapped that up when I remembered I hadn't shown the Advent calendar. So here is the 4th. This piece was part of the last set of mystery bags that were released, and it was celebrating Mickey's 90th birthday. So it had 2 or 3 different figures that were just Mickey Mouse based, and this is him, of course, coming out of the drum like he used to do for the Mickey Mouse Club. So here's where we are so far.